Welcome to Positively Spiritual. My name is Shannon Gilmore. How are you? Welcome. So today we're going to do a topic that is, well, it's talked about, but not really. And this is about the malevolence of narcissism from the perspective of the dark tetrad and the dark triad. So we're just going to let everybody come on in, and I just want to say hi. How do you do? How you doing? It's nice to see you guys. And I just want to say thank you, everyone, for showing up last night and supporting me as I was a basket of feels last night. I'm doing better today. I'm just taking it in stride. I realize it's hormones, but also, you know, I'm dealing with hidden trauma that I didn't realize I had. So, yeah, so things, you know, I'm beginning to understand why I'm, you know, teary-eyed and why I get so nostalgic. It's because love is where it's at, people. Love is the color of life. Love is the zest of life, and we're missing that big time. Good morning, Enough to Try. How are you doing? You just got done your therapy session, spoke on you, and she thinks you're fabulous. Aw, thank you so much. That is so nice to hear. That's gonna make me cry. Oh, thank you. That is an uplift. Thank you so much. Hugs to you. Air hug. When I do this, it's like air hugs, okay? Bring it in, girl. Air hugs. Thank you so much. I'm going to, can I safely screenshot that just to give my ego a just little in your face, like, booyah. There we go. Did it safely. You know, my ego needs a butt kicking. So today we're going to talk on what you wanted to, your question there that you wanted to talk about, Enough to Try, on Machiavellianism and the dark triad, the dark tetrad. And we're going to dig into this because, you know, this is a sensitive topic, and I mean, really sensitive. But once you see it, once we talk about it, you're going to see this everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Aw, you're worth it. Thank you for this safe space and being a safe person, allowing us to speak openly. You're welcome. And thank you for being safe people, as you guys have created a safe space for me too. God bless all of you. God bless you. Thank you. You guys are so kind. Okay, so we're just going to wait for people to come on in because this is a topic and I want to get started, but this is so important. And I just want to say thank you Enough to Try for bringing this to our attention, because we're not talking about this enough, because it is taboo. Just like talking about sex is taboo for the Christian circles, you know, it's an uncomfortable topic. And because we don't talk about it, we don't know what it looks like, or, you know, just because you do it naturally doesn't mean that you're doing it correctly, if you know what I mean. So the same thing goes with the dark triad, the dark malevolent, the dark, I don't know if you can get any word stronger than malevolent, evil, the dark evil intentions of narcissism that people develop into. You know, some people stay little goats or baby kids forever, but then there's some who allow themselves to develop, just like how we develop into our kinship with Jesus. We start off as being adopted sons and daughters. So being adopted, you got to be trained in the ways that you should go, and you mature and grow up. And the more you mature, the more God trusts you with his divinity, meaning the house. God will give you the keys to the house. And when you can learn to, run the household for a few hours without God, then he's going to, give you more leniencies. And this is how you develop and mature into your kingdomhood, your kinship with Jesus. As when you are fully mature, God says, okay, you are my child, you are ready for marriage, and off you go. I'm marrying you to Jesus. So we emotionally mature. We start off as baby lambs and we develop into sheep. Well, this is what I think is happening with narcissism. And psychologists have grouped narcissism into various compartments, from the covert, the overt, to the somated, to the malignant. And now we have the stronger portions of narcissism that go past they linger on the other side of malignancy. They're the more severe types of narcissism that maybe you and I haven't experienced, but other people have. And maybe we've experienced this, we just didn't recognize it, because the Machiavelli, or the traits that make the darkness of narcissism really dark, we're so caught off guard to begin with narcissism. Like, we're just like, I can't believe you just said that. You're denying that? Oh my gosh, you're gaslighting me, you're hurting me, you're undermining, you're love bombing me, we've got all these things to, sort through, that we can't see the forest for the trees half the time. And when the dark triad comes walking into our lives, we're so hurt and twisted already that this is hard to see. And if we see it, it's hard to define. So welcome everyone. Hi, welcome to Positively Spiritual. My name is Shannon Gilmore, and it is so nice to see all of you. Really, it is. Welcome to the family. And it's nice to spend time with family. I haven't had, like, you guys know my story, and I haven't had, family time with, sitting around the kitchen table, or, having friendships with cousins and going and, making mud pies when we were kids. I never had that. So you guys are my family. I've adopted all of you. It doesn't matter. You're adopted already, because we belong to Jesus. So we're all family. That's just the way it's going to be. That's the way it is forever. And I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to have you here, and I'm thrilled to call you family. You guys have supported me through, through a lot, and I'm so very grateful and thankful. Even last night when I was all teary-eyed, and I'm feeling better now. But again, I'm just treading lightly, because I'm recognizing that I'm going through some realizations of trauma that I couldn't see before. Because with my trauma, Happy Gilmore, I was wondering when someone was going to say that. But with me and my trauma, a lot of my, I have fractured memories. So I'm just dealing with the very few negative memories that I have, and my mind has just ditched the positive. But the negative feelings, even though I don't have the memory attached, the negative feeling is there and attached, and it's very strong. And so yesterday I recognized that that's what I was dealing with, and why love, I'm just a sucker for love. I mean, most of us are, and I say that affectionately, that we're suckers for love, as we are love. We are love. That's what it is. We are the states of being of love. And we've showed the wrong people how to love, and they don't know how to love, and so they've taken our love and they've interpreted it their way and thrown it back to us, and it's gotten us hurt. So with all of that said, I want to talk to you guys today about the narcissistic personality disorder that is defined as the dark triad, or the dark tetrad. So hi everyone. Hi Pure Blood. Hi Enough to Try. It's nice to see all of you. And welcome. Yay, Retreat 2025. Yeah, that's something to look forward to, isn't it? It certainly is. So narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, as defined by modern psychology, is characterized by maladaptive behavior that disrupts an individual's ability to function harmoniously within society. In simpler terms, it describes someone whose persistent behavior patterns hinder their ability to engage in healthy, socially acceptable interactions. Yeah. Well, that was easy enough, right? Well, most people are familiar with the traits of narcissism, the grandiosity, the lack of empathy, or we'll say no empathy at all. It's fake empathy, and an insatiable need for admiration, which distinctly separates narcissists from ethically grounded individuals. I was bought and raised by them. They're insidious. Oh, wow. Yeah, they are, aren't they? However, as much as we understand about narcissism, there is a subtle yet significant detail of this personality disorder that is often overlooked within the complex framework of narcissistic behavior. This is a behavior trait so deeply rooted in the philosophy of one historical figure, Niccolo Machiavelli. If I'm saying it right with an Italian accent, Niccolo Machiavelli. I don't know. I try. Now, he was an individual who is best known for his political treatise, The Prince. As Machiavelli, that's hard to say. Machiavelli, there we go. Machiavelli to you. We should say that to narcissists. Machiavelli to you. It's kind of funny. That is really funny. I'm sorry. It just is. It's an insult, and they don't even know it. Okay, so anyways, moving on. So Machiavelli advocated for manipulation, deceit, and strategic control as tools for maintaining power. This Machiavellian mindset seamlessly intertwines with the manipulative and controlling tendencies observed in narcissists. Hi DJ, how you doing? You came to Christ yesterday. Blessings, congratulations, welcome to the family. God bless you. Machiavellian, you're making me giggle. Good. We get to laugh, you know. We get to laugh. I mean, sometimes when tragedy strikes, all you got to do is laugh, because it's not worth. It's not worth wasting your tears on a narcissist. It's not worth wasting your tears on the negative, because that's exactly what the negative. That's what your. I was gonna say biology, but that's what your. Now I can't even remember the name. It's hormones, people. I'm dealing with that. I got to deal with menopause still. But we've got to deal with the ego. And the ego wants us to cry. The ego wants us frustrated. The ego wants us mad. And so how you counteract all of that is just to laugh. Giggle. If you can make, a joke out of this and say Machiavelli to you, Machiavelli, however you say it. I use an N for some reason, I don't know. Machiavelli, and it's not, it's Machiavelli. So, but yeah, however you want to say it, it doesn't matter. Who cares if the narcissist knows that term or not? They probably don't, and they probably can't say it anyways either. So just, yeah, Machiavelli to you. There we go. Machiavelli to you. There you go. Okay. So, but I mean, you can use, like, you're not being insulting, okay? You're not insulting the narcissist to insult them. You are actually just trying to make yourself feel better, because the narcissist isn't going to make yourself feel better. They're not going to help you out of your pain. They want you in pain. So, it's another way of saying, what did the girl on Greece. You guys know, what's her name, Rizzo or Roz? Rizzo, Roz? I can't remember. But she was the girlfriend of Nick, and she thought she was pregnant, and she's having a girls, sleepover, and she's like, "Hey, Vongu," like that. I loved her attitude. Her attitude was awesome. So, anyways, however, I want to say, as much as we can, we're not making light of narcissism by any means, okay? So, yeah, put on your gear. It's a rough ride. I like that. And our laughter and smiles as we rejoice despite them destroys them. Amen. Amen to that. So, there is a complex framework of narcissistic behavior, and this is a behavioral trait that's deeply rooted in the philosophy of this historical figure named Machiavelli. Okay, Machiavelli. Now, his mindset does intertwine with narcissism, with manipulative and controlling tendencies observed in narcissists, but the philosophers of Machiavelli and the psychologists of narcissism, they want us to make the distinction that Machiavelli was not a narcissist. They want to make that distinction. He was not a narcissist. Really? Well, how do we know? How do we know? All we can go is by historical books, and historical books does not give every single rendition and every single insight of what this historical figure said and did. So, you know what? He wrote this book. As a writer, okay, I'm going to say this, as a writer, as an author, you guys can go to my Ko-Fi channel, the link in the description, and you can download ebooks if you want, but these books are books that I have written. I've been writing since the age of 7 years old, and I didn't take my writing seriously until 2008. And so I'm saying this to you guys because writing is not just writing something down in chicken scratch on a piece of paper and calling it good enough. When you're writing, you're researching. You're actually soul searching and going through your mind and thinking and putting your thoughts down on paper. And when you're writing a book, it's not just writing a book and tapping it out on a keyboard or writing it out in pen and ink in say 2.5 hours. You are writing is a lifestyle. Okay, until you have finished writing that book and it's in print, and even after it's in print, this is a lifestyle, because after your book is in print, you're out there promoting your book. You're out there tooting your own horn in order to get people to notice your stuff. So from this time of sitting down and working out, an outline and figuring this out and, doing some brainstorming, you're thinking about your work, your writing, from the time you get up to the time you go to bed. You're thinking about it. You're working out the details. So Machiavelli, for people to say, oh, no, he wasn't a narcissist. No, this is all political philosophy. No, this is his heart and soul. Creativity comes from your soul. Writing is a creative work, no matter what it is. So this book, this prints, this treaty on political agendas and how to come by your political prowess, this was showcasing who the man behind the name Machiavelli. This work was showing the character of the man. So I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree with the philosophy, the psychology. This man was wicked and evil. So when did I come to Christ? 30 years ago. So and it has been something that stays with you. It is something, coming to Christ is the best decision that you will ever make in your life. And I'm going to say this in love, it is a hard walk, it's a hard road to travel, but it is well worth it. So welcome. I'm glad you're so excited. I can feel it. I can feel it off of you that you're just so excited, and hang on to that excitement and don't let anybody steer you into believing that this was a mistake or Christ isn't here. Christ is alive. You know that. You know that in your bones. And Jesus is in your blood, so welcome. So we love you. Yes, it's very lonely at times, and it's difficult, you know, because you have to, even though you're protected by evil, you do have to face evil, and you have to see it. And sometimes you have to wear evil. Like, that's how we have come to know narcissists. We have had to wear that narcissistic evil as our own clothing. And we have taken in the evil into our hearts, and now we're trying to, you know, cut off this sinful nature that's been rooted in our hearts. So yes, Jesus is with us here now. Absolutely he is. Yeah. And hive mind, mentally, they are all the same. Exactly. So you're going to hear Machiavelli wasn't a narcissist. And you know what? You're welcome to use your own discernment. Make up your own mind, you know? Just go rogue. Make up your own mind. I mean, Christians are rogue people anyways. We follow the path of Christ. We don't follow the ways of the world. And so our path is different. So yeah, go rogue. Be maverick, you know? Learn what you can about narcissism, and you decide how you want to believe what it is, because some people will probably never admit, as they can't, you know, unbelievers won't admit that narcissism is seen in the Bible. It's rooted from the Bible. It comes from the roots of the spiritual nature of the enemy who decided to disobey God. Psychologists would rather believe the myth that it comes from Greek mythology of the narcissist, where some demigod put a spell and bewitched this guy who fell in love with his own likeness as he saw his reflection in a pond. Okay, power to ya. Yeah, if that's what gets you through the day, power to ya. You know, but I'm not going to believe that. So, but anyways, do you go rogue? So understanding that Machiavellian, I got to stop saying it with an N, Machiavellian influence provides a deeper insight into how narcissists strategically exploit relationships and social dynamics. Their actions are not solely driven by emotional insecurity, but often involve deliberate, calculated manipulation aimed at securing dominance and control. Recognizing this connection reveals the covert tactics narcissists employ and emphasize the importance of protecting oneself from their subtle yet destructive influence. Niccolo Machiavelli. He was born in 1469 and died in 1527. He was believed to be an Italian diplomat, philosopher, and writer during the Renaissance. He is best known for his political treatise, The Prince, which was published in 1532. Excuse me. Which offers pragmatic and often controversial advice to rulers on how to acquire and maintain power. I have never read this book, don't want to read it. It's a no-go for me, don't want to, as it just sounds disgusting. So the key takeaways from Machiavelli's book were centered on three main points. They were political realism. Machiavelli emphasized that rulers should focus on practicality and results. So he wanted everybody to focus on practical results rather than ideals. What the hell does that mean? That's pretty vague, isn't it? Well, he believed the moral considerations could be set aside if they conflicted with political stability or success. So, morals be damned, basically. If holding on to morals are not going to get you voted in, then morals be damned. Sounds a lot like, and I'm not disparaging Catholicism, it's just this sounds a lot like the original popes, the beginning of the papacy in Constantine's day and thereafter, that there was a lot of bloodshed trying to get onto the throne of the papacy. And that's what this reminds me of. I mean, when in Rome, right? But anyways, we're going to stay on topic. So he also believed that ends justify the means. Although he never directly wrote this phase, it summarizes his view as a ruler's actions. No matter how ruthless, the actions are justified if they lead to a secure and strong state. Yeah. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome. Come on in. My name is Shannon. It's nice to meet you. Yes, enough to try. He believed that if you must destroy innocence, they then destroy it. Exactly. Kind of like, you know, the Roman rulers. When you research the Roman emperors, oh my gosh, they destroyed innocence. Because their innocence was destroyed. That's how you make a tyrannical ruler. Hi, Joe. How you doing? Oh, you're having a bad day. Your truck broke down and is in the shop. Well, may it be fixed, and may you not have to forego an expense that you do not need. So, yeah, it's going to go in your favor. Everything's going to go in your favor. Yeah. So we're talking about Machiavelli. I want to say with the N. I'm so used to saying it like that. Machiavelli. Machiavelli. There we go. Machiavelli. Why am I having trouble? Because my spirit doesn't like the man. That's probably why. So we're talking about the dark triad and the dark tetrad, and we're just going over some things about this personality of this man who wrote a book called The Prince. And this book was a political book that basically said, if violence is going to go in your favor, then use violence. Yeah. So he also stood on this principle, virtue and fortuna. So fortune and virtue. So he described virtue as a ruler's ability to shape his destiny through strength, intelligence, and adaptability, while fortuna represents luck or circumstances beyond one's control. Successful rulers must balance both. Hi, Jay Bozy. No, God is healing me. I'm still in the work. I'm a work in progress. And self-help therapy is therapy, and God provides therapy too. But no, I didn't go to a therapist. But I used psychology, therapy from other psychologists available online to, talk myself through it. And you guys have helped, and yeah, so this is therapy. So, yeah, personal therapy, I guess you would call it, self-help therapy. So I'm all for that because, you know your body best. You know yourself best. And, there's nothing like a good mirror, and taking God with you and talking to God as if he's in the room with you. There's nothing like that. It's awesome. It's beautiful. So Resistor Shannon is my therapist. Aw, thank you. Well, we try, right? We try. So I did want to be a therapist growing up, but life just had other plans for me. But I got into peer support counseling when I was 16, and I haven't stopped. So yeah, I'm a layman's therapist. I don't diagnose and don't prescribe medication. And but you've got my support as best as I can give it. You got it. Sorry. No sorry, Jill. No sorry. None whatsoever. You take that back. There's no need to be sorry. There's no shame, no blame here. You know, God doesn't want that from us, so we're not going to practice that. We're done shaming ourselves and done tiptoeing around other people. We don't have to tiptoe around other people's feelings anymore. We know we come walking in the name of the Lord. We know we come walking in, goodwill. So we know how we present ourselves and how we speak. It's the other person's responsibility too to be responsible enough to understand how we're speaking it and how to receive it. So you're not a complainer at all. Joe, we love you. I love you. You're my brother. You're my bro. You're my dude. You're awesome. So, but I've noticed this with myself. Like Canadians, we always say sorry, 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 sorry for everything. So it's just habit. And it comes from habit because all of us say sorry now and again. I don't want to bring this up, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I feel no, we don't need to, talk like that. And we're used to talking like that because of the people that we hang around. And we don't want to upset the apple cart. I mean, we don't want to upset the narcissist, so we just kind of lay the groundwork saying, Mr. or Mrs. Narcissist, I'm sorry, I don't want to say this, but I feel I need to, and I don't want to hurt your feelings. That's not my intention. That's what we do to soften the blow so that the narcissist knows where we're coming from, because they are not automatically thinking, oh, this person has my best interest at heart. They automatically go to offense, right? So in regular relationships, we can just speak. We can say our piece without having to, lay the groundwork first. But with the narcissist, we have to lay the groundwork because they're never mind coming from, because they don't know us. And I guess that is another red flag that I never like, is that if you have to lay the groundwork for somebody to say, I'm not sure how you're going to take this, but I feel I need to say this. But please know that I'm not here trying to insult you, and I mean no offense, no harm. You're waving the white flag before you even speak. That's a red flag. That's a red flag right there. Absalom. Yes, Absalom was super fit. Absalom was, well, isn't he the one that lusted after Tamar and took her? Basically forced himself upon her, and she tried to make it right, because when you have sex with somebody, even if it's against your will, you're supposed to try to make it right. And it was Absalom's duty to marry his sister, whom he raped or took advantage of. And he hated her after that. That's the narcissist. Narcissists want what they cannot have, and once they get it, off you go. Don't want you. I hate you. You're disgusting to me. So Machiavelli also used power and fear, as he argued that it is safer for a ruler to be feared than loved. There we go, narcissism. Right there in our faces. If he cannot be both, as fear is more relatable, as fear is a more reliable motivator than affection. Really? Oh. Ooh. Yep. Enough to Try says, I have a therapist and I am not ashamed of this. No, never be ashamed. She always tells me to stop saying sorry because I have nothing to be sorry about. Exactly. You do you. Go rogue. And start feeling good being rogue. That we all Because we're Christians, we're nonconformists. We don't conform with the ways of the world. We're rogue. We're the mavericks of society. Own it. Be glad. Because when you're a rogue and when you're a maverick of society, that's where learning, you gain knowledge. You know something they don't know. Doo-da, doo-da. Yeah, the narcissist is dumb. They're dumbfounded in their lack of common sense. They're just motivated by the workings of the flesh. And they don't care if it's good or bad, if it makes them feel good, if it serves their flesh and gives them this chemical dispense of these feel-good hormones, then that's good enough for them. But we're looking for to come by, the spirit feelings, these feelings of worthiness, these feelings of love and acceptance. And these only come through ways of goodness and joy and through heaven and divinity. And God doesn't walk around, Jesus never walked around, walking in his courage and his confidence. Like this man, Jesus, was confident. He was confident in knowing that he didn't break the Roman law, so there was no reason for him to, be chastised. So he walked around in confidence, and he just did the Lord's will. And the will was to heal other people. And he walked around in confidence, knowing that, okay, the magistrates are gonna, they're not gonna look favorably, but I'm not breaking their laws, so I'm good. He never walked up to the Pharisees and Sadducees and said, I'm sorry, by the will of God, I'm compelled to preach the proper word of Moses to you guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cause offense. I'm really sorry. If you don't like this, well, then I don't know what to tell you, but I mean no offense. I'm not here to cause division. I'm not here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I stepped over the line. I'm sorry. No, he didn't do that, so we're not supposed to do that. Don't be sorry for being you. So, Matt says, I'm still alive, but the days are numbered before my family leaves. Yeah. Matt says 7 to 10 days. Are you talking about this? There was supposed to be, somebody was saying that this timeline switch was supposed to be today. Now they always move the goalposts. But if the rapture happens, I'm thinking that this is possibly a polar shift. Who was it? Des was sending me information over my email about melted rock. And this is very interesting. We maybe you guys know about the mud floods in Tartaria, and the pictures of red rock, red brick, just look up melted red brick. There's pictures and there's places along this world where there's fieldstone melted, and the fieldstone is broken away, and underneath that is red brick melted. And I'm doing a little bit of research, and I'm like, why are you sending me this stuff? This doesn't make sense. And then all of a sudden, oh snap, this is based on my own research that I did on the Philadelphia experiment, where the scientists, and Einstein was involved in this experiment, by the way, where they wrapped copper wire around a naval ship and put electricity to this copper wire, and this whole entire ship disappeared, and it reappeared somewhere else, but it disappeared where it reappeared to reappear in its spot where it was last seen, or where it was first disappeared. So when this ship reappeared in its original spot, when people boarded this ship, what they saw was what is similar in these melted bricks, where there's two kinds of bricks melted together. And these people, the crew on this ship, were melted into the floorboards, melted into the metal hand railings. Some of these people who survived this, they were magnetized so much to the point that throughout their lifetimes they would materialize and dematerialize, materialize and dematerialize. So this was not a good thing. So I'm thinking that maybe this is what happens when a polar shift happens. Like we think of, the polar shifts of just creating, global warming and, the ice age. But there's a spiritual nature behind everything that happens on Earth. And what if this is a polar shift where, okay, so maybe physical things will be seen on Earth, but this is our, time of the polar shift is where we are actually raptured. So I don't know. It's just something to think about. It's weird and twisted, and I have no idea. All I know is this great awakening, where we're in the truth pitted against the lies. We are in a time where God says in the end days knowledge will be, we'll gain such knowledge, and we are. And we're making our truth, we're standing for our truth. And once you know the truth, you can't go back. So what is it? How do we live in a tyrannical society knowing where our taxes are going, where, we're being sidelined and we're being used and abused? I mean, either we rebel against that or we conform to that, and we're nonconformists. We can't deny our Jesus. So either we live outside of the world on earth and we form our own society and our own governments with Jesus Christ leading the way, or he's taking us. There's no other way about it. So there's a person in your life that thinks you're making up excuses. Oh, yeah, that's the narcissist for you. You're welcome, Joe. So Enough to Try says, I knew soldiers who were told to protect a building and slowly walk away from it, never looking back. A soldier told me he looked back and the building was gone. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You've been advised to keep your stress to yourself. Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. Matt says, I sabotaged my marriage, the perfect woman. Well, it's good that you recognize it now. And, like we said before, just work on yourself. Work on yourself and learn to heal and learn to accept, the good parts of yourself and accept the bad parts of yourself and integrate that and just, allow God to lead you. And, if you guys are meant to be, it will happen. But the both of you guys, look at this time apart as being, if you guys were together and trying to heal, it wouldn't work. It would just exasperate and frustrate you guys, both of you. And so in your time living apart, you guys get to work on yourselves. You guys get to see and value, there's a saying, you never know what you had until it's gone, right? So if you're thinking this, chances are she's thinking it too. But you guys are going to come into this realization on your own understanding. So maybe it's because you guys were unevenly yoked that this marriage didn't work. And so when the both of you, maybe God's in the details. Allow God to be in the details and is in his own timing. And if he wants this relationship for you guys, he'll make it happen. But he's got to see you guys working towards that goal first as well. You guys have to want what God wants for you. And if you're not working towards that goal, then God's like, okay, you're using your free will. I can't intervene because you're doing something opposite. So the thing is, when you're a Christian and you ask God for help, you have to step aside your control. You have to say, God, I want your help. Lead me and guide me to how I can help you help me. Don't take it upon yourself to say, God, I want your help. It's got to be this way, this, and this. That's the only way it's going to work, God. It's got to be this way. No. Because then you're not allowing God to be God. So allow God to be God in your life. Ask and you shall receive. Ask for God's intervention. Ask how God, I need you to heal my heart. How can I help you to heal my heart? God, I would like you to help me to be a friend to the spouse that I lost. And help her to be a friend to herself and me, if that be your will. If it's not, then allow me, Lord, to let me let her go. I've prayed that with narcissists too. I've asked God, let me let this narcissist go. Let me detach myself from this person. So, God blessed her and cursed me. No, he did not. I'm screaming at you with my voice cracking. God did not curse you. I rebuke that right now. God did not curse you. God does not curse the ones he loves. The enemy curses. And the enemy gives too, just as much as God gives. So, going back to Machiavelli. Because of this book's political agenda, this book that he wrote called The Prince, this political agenda was to undercut anyone who stands in the way of one's political success. It is believed that this isn't the normative behavior traits within narcissism itself, regardless of the negative connotations. And again, I beg to differ. This book, as extreme as it may be, is the extreme form of narcissism. And as I said, when you write a book, I'm an author, so you can ask other authors. When you write a book from beginning to end, it can take sometimes a year, sometimes 5 years, depending on the developmental and the research that you need to do for this book. But as soon as you submit it to getting it published, it's not published right away. Before you even put it in print, you've got to have like at least 2 or 3, maybe even 10 different edits. And then when it's to your liking, then you submit it to the publisher. And then even the publisher will want to do their own edits. So from the time that you write the manuscript, you start the brainstorming, the brainstorming, to the outline, to developing your characters, to developing the theme, to developing the contrast and creating a problem to solve the problem, to having everything tucked in a neat final sentence, the end. From all of that can take years and years and years. And then when you finally go to publish it, it can take another year. It can take another year or 2, depending on the edits, depending on what your publisher wants from you. So you're looking at maybe 5 to 10 years for your book from your mind to paper to out in the public. You're looking at maybe 5 to 10 years. So this, from thought to publishing to being available out in the public, this is your lifestyle. You live, think, and breathe and eat your book, the themes of your book, your characters of your book. You embody the characters. You put yourself in your work. This is your heart and soul. So for people to say that Machiavelli was not a narcissist, I'm going to beg to differ, because he wrote about it. He wrote this. This is his belief system. This was who he was. Yeah, he's a narcissist. A very extreme one. Definitely not little whiny babe narcissism, clingy little types. Where are you going? What you doing? Oh, you can't leave me alone. Oh, he definitely didn't suffer from separation anxiety. So he was on the extreme end of the narcissist scale. So understand that Machiavelli ideas and narcissism, they do intersect, as their focus is on power, control, manipulation, and fame. I mean, that's what politics is all about, is gaining ultimate control over a people. I mean, when you're the president of the United States, oh my gosh, that's ultimate power, isn't it? So people want to disassociate Machiavelli from narcissism as one is being political philosophy. No, it's power. It's a power grab. And the other is a psychological disorder. Well, where does philosophy come from? The mind. Where does psychology come from? The mind. Yeah. So humanity's enduring struggle has always been the choice between self-governance and being governed by external forces. This internal conflict stems from the ego, which acts as a political force even within. The ego is driven by control and self-interest. So in contrast, between Machiavelli and Jesus, Jesus stands at the divine opposition of ego's rule as the political powers rule. Jesus empowers us to govern ourselves, provided we seek his counsel and submit to his righteous authority. Where the ego wields force and manipulation, Jesus offers truth, presented with grace and respect for our free will. This truth invites us to choose spiritual sovereignty over internal oppression, leading us to a life of purpose and divine alignment. And if you look closely, you can see the spiritual accentuations within the world. The government represents the ego, represents the spiritual prowess of the ego. And that's why the ego hates us. That's why governing bodies hate Christians, because we don't need the government. We don't need their control. So the ego does not allow reality. Well, the ego creates reality. When you're always stuck up in your ego, you're creating a reality for yourself that is egoic in nature, and you end up fighting your reality, not realizing that you're fighting yourself because you created your reality. So the ego doesn't allow for spirituality. I will agree with you there, that's our reality. Our reality is spiritual, but the reality of the ego is tangible. So thank you for that, resistor. I agree with you. Yeah. So the similarities between Machiavelli and narcissism is that there's manipulation and deception. Machiavelli Machiavelli in The Prince, I'm trying to say his name, it's hard for me, bear with me. Machiavelli, he advises rulers to use deceit and manipulation when necessary to maintain power. But narcissists often manipulate others to maintain control using tactics like gaslighting, love bombing, and triangulation. How is this any different? How is this any different? It's not. It's not different. So Machiavelli advises rulers to use deceit and manipulation when necessary to maintain power. Let's not forget that narcissists think that they are rulers. That's how this diluted sense of, what do you call it? They think they're better than everybody else. They think they're more capable than everybody else. They have this sense of entitlement because they have this sense of delusions of grandeur. So narcissists do think that they are powerful, as they want to become the ultimate power in your life. So there is a dynamic between the two, as it's all about power and control. Machiavelli believed that maintaining power sometimes requires immoral, ruthless actions. While narcissists do crave dominance in relationships and social settings, and to seek control, they do seek power and dominance. And they seek control by how others perceive and treat them. And how did they do that? Narcissists are Machiavellis. Yes, they are Machiavellian. They're Machiavelli. And I need to learn Italian. So the Renaissance, I'm going to call him Renaissance Mac, okay? Machiavelli, I'm going to call him Renaissance Mac. So the Renaissance Mac, he wanted to talk about how a ruler should appear virtuous and moral, even if they are not, to maintain public favor. Isn't that true with narcissists? I mean, when you look at Machiavellianism, or the Renaissance Mac, he was willing to write about it. But I don't even know if Freud read The Prince, because these aren't two, narcissism and Machiavellianism they're not two distinct personality types. They're not. They can't be. They don't, it doesn't look like, I'm just using my common sense here. So both things lack empathy, but somehow the ruling authority is saying, no, Machiavelli, or the Renaissance Mac, his advice focuses on outcomes over ethics, often sidelining compassion for effectiveness. Can you see narcissism in that? Of course, but then someone says, well, this isn't narcissism because narcissists lack empathy, making it easy for themselves to exploit others without guilt. Well, isn't that what Machiavelli did? So according to authorities, there's key differences. Strategic versus emotional motivation. Really? You're going to tell me that political motivation is devoid of emotion? Really? I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Hi, VK. How you doing? There's long-term focus versus short-term focus, where Machiavelli advises long-term planning and adaptability for sustainable power. Okay, I can get that, because narcissists often prioritize immediate validation and gratification, which can sabotage long-term stability. Okay, I get that. However, this approach works well as it causes division within the hearts and minds of their targets, creating a spiritual political division, as the ego dominates the individual and guides them away from the living in the kingdom of heaven on earth. So, Machiavelli, I think I'm going to say this about him, that he was working in the spirit, but maybe he didn't think about the political agenda as being anything spiritual. And this too is seen in narcissism. So I think the powers that be just want to separate Machiavellianism into this political paradigm, that this political bubble, and say, oh no, it's strictly political. And narcissism is strictly, for everybody else. Well, isn't this separating church and state? See, Jesus brought together, he taught the spiritual aspect into a very physical law. And this is what bothered the Pharisees and Sadducees, because the teachers of the law were political rulers, where they just wanted to govern people and didn't want people to govern themselves. And Jesus said, well, no, here's the spiritual accentuation of the word, and now people can govern themselves. So exactly, it's the same. A narc is a narc. I agree with you, Resistor. It's the same. You can't separate the two, because what is the definition of politics? Politic, of an action seeming sensible and judicious under circumstances. So, the origin of the word is late Middle English from Old French politique, meaning political, via Latin from Greek politikos. So, from polites or polites, meaning citizen, from polis, meaning city. So, politic is an adjective that means political, shrewd, or tactful. So, we're, the governance, the people that we have elected to govern us, as they are supposed to work for the people, they are the ones that stretched this definition of politic and made it something that it's not meant to be. So here we have of an action. So political is just something of an action that is seemingly sensible and judicious under these circumstances. Wise, prudent, sensible, judicious, canny, sagacious, expedient, shrewd, astute. So, yeah. Politics is definitely not for the people. No, it takes away our right to self-govern. I think that's what, if you really want to look at it that way, it takes away our right to self-govern. And Jesus brought back the spiritual aspect of governance to allow us to make sound choices for ourselves in morality and govern ourselves without the need of somebody superior than us. So, yeah. Interesting. So I'm just going to skip all of this because I don't agree with Machiavelli being separate from narcissism. The more I read about this, the more I researched this morning, and I can't agree to this. They're the same. They're the same principles, just used differently. That's it. So in psychology, Machiavellianism and narcissism and psychopathy are grouped together to create what is called the dark triad. And that's why we discussed Machiavellianism this morning or this afternoon, because this trait makes up a type of narcissism that is very scary. And coupled with psychopathy. Okay, so here we have Machiavellianism is marked by strategic manipulation. Okay, that I can agree with. Strategic manipulation. Get it. Narcissism is believed to be driven by ego and the need for admiration. Well, if you look at Machiavellianism, it's strategic manipulation driven by the ego. In needs for, you need admiration. Like if you're running for president, you need people's admiration to win. You're running for a constituency, you need people to favor you. So, okay. So, narcissism and Machiavellianism are the same thing. It's the same side of a two-sided coin, only one is more severe. And then you have psychopathy, which involves impulsivity and a lack of remorse. Well, that is also narcissistic, right? That is also Machiavelli. So, society and psychology likes to compartmentalize things in order to make them make better sense. But bad behavior is bad behavior. There's just varying degrees of bad behavior. Same with good behavior. Good behavior is good behavior. There's just varying degrees of good behavior. There's bad feelings and good feelings. There's just varying degrees of good feelings and bad feelings. So everything that we have in this world is just a varying degrees of, like even Jesus says, you are neither hot nor cold, so I will spit you out of my mouth. What is hot? You're not hot or cold. That means you're neutral. Well, you're Switzerland, you're neutral, you're not taking sides. So you got to be on fire for Jesus or you're not on fire for Jesus. If you're not on fire for Jesus, well, you're kind of neutral. You're kind of, and that's why we get hurt by narcissists, because we're not on fire for Jesus. Because we don't know ourselves well enough to be on fire for Jesus. Yeah, it seems like she has all those traits. Yeah. So I'm going to say this. This is my personal opinion. Compartmentalized means no one knows what the other is doing. Exactly. Like when you look at quantum physics and biology and psychology, if all of these sciences, if all the sciences were brought together, could you imagine if they worked together? They build on one theory, and they like one theory is built up on another, but because everything is compartmentalized, we focus so much on biology that we forget about quantum science, or we turn to quantum science and energy and thermodynamics that we forget about biology. That you can't separate thermodynamics from biology. You just can't. So, and now the new science is telling us and showing us that we have electricity running through our veins. You know, our nervous system is an biological system that we have current running through us, you know, and this energy is sentient. And so psychology doesn't take into account of that. So my point is, if we brought in all of the sciences together instead of compartmentalizing them, we would be tuned in, tapped in to our divinity, and tuned out of this world. That needs to be on a shirt logo. I'm tuned out of this world. I love it. I love it. That's got to go on a t-shirt. You guys have my permission if you guys do t-shirts and make logos on t-shirts and stuff. You know, I'm tuned out of this world. Yeah. I'm tuned in. Yeah, no, I'm tuned out of this world. Hey, Des, how you doing? So, aw, thank you, Joe. Yeah, so I make 1-inch buttons. I can make you some merch for your viewers' quotes, LOL. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. So I like that. Little buttons. I like that. That's cool. I don't see those around anymore, little buttons. So, so it's just my personal opinion here, and I could be wrong, but I'm starting to see that Machiavellianism and narcissism are the same thing. That's my personal opinion, and I'm sticking with it. So, as I've said, you know, where in Scripture we are called to become, like, we're considered little lambs, okay? And then as we mature, we become sheep. And Scripture tells us that we are the sheep among the goats, right? Well, goats too have their maturity. They have to go through maturity. So what is a baby goat? A kid. And I'm thinking that, you know, the scale of narcissism is on the very low scale. The immature scale is the baby kids, the little goats of narcissism. And they mature and grow up to be, you know, the I don't know what you would call a middle-staged, a teenager goat, but I would, maybe a billy goat, you know, maybe a goat who's just starting to get their horns and they're starting to butt. You know, they're just working out their personality and their characteristics of their goatness. And so then when you have a mature goat or a mature kid, they're a goat. And what happens when you're a sheep among the goats? Goats can go anywhere. Sheeps cannot. Yeah, baby goats are called kids. And, you know, baby sheep are called lambs. And where, you know, the baby goats and the baby lambs are raised together, and and lambs believe that we are kids, you know, little goats. Is that the reason why we're called kids, and we call kids kids? Our own offspring, we don't call children. We call, oh yeah, my kid, they're out at the dentist, or yeah, my kid's at school today. You're calling your kid, your child, a baby goat. Wow. We gotta We got to watch what we say. We got to watch our words. So within the context of narcissism, there is another underlying behavior that accompanies the dark triad, which then creates another compartmentalization of the narcissistic personality disorder called the dark tetrad. So this, we're going to step aside Machiavellianism, you're Machiavelli. Hey, Machiavelli. Okay, never mind. Anyways, we're going to sidestep that personality in narcissism to now take a look at another personality within narcissism that's often hidden because it's taboo, and that is sadism. Sadism is pleasure in inflicting pain. I love being a sheeple too. Welcome to the club. So defined by sadism is defined by the enjoyment of inflicting physical, emotional, or psychological pain in others. It doesn't just deal with sex, but it can. Sadists may engage in bullying, harassment, humiliation for personal satisfaction. That is the narcissist. Hi Margaret, how you doing? Oh, thank you. I wear my pink sweater just because it's nice and warm and it's comfy, and I'm sorry, it's got holes in it. I'm sorry, but it's just me. I love my sweater. And sometimes I needed to wear it yesterday because I was sad, So I just needed my comfort sweater. So I'm glad you're doing well, Margaret. It's nice to see you. Hello. So unlike other traits, sadists don't always manipulate for personal gain, but for the pleasure of causing suffering. Thank you, Resistor. I appreciate that. So you guys all look nice too. In my mind, you guys are beautiful people. So okay, so back on this. So unlike other traits, sadists don't always manipulate for personal gain. Okay? They manipulate for the pleasure of causing suffering. They get aroused hurting other people. Have you ever seen a narcissist when you come unglued when that's why they provoke you. Because they get pleasure out of seeing you give yourself over to emotional displays. So, thank you, VK. It's natural girl. It's natural girl. So, but yeah, normally I straighten out this part of my hair because you see it's just natural curl. It just is curl. It just does its own thing. So I'm just rocking the 80s band hair. There we go. We got big hair. We got big hair. Big hair, messy hair. There we go. So, but yeah. So now it's in my face. Okay, so an example of sadism would be cyberbullying, public shaming, and deriving pleasure from others' misfortune. That's the narcissist. Okay? So how does the dark tetrad traits overlap? Well, individuals high in these traits often combine manipulation, emotional coldness, and a lack of remorse to dominate others. Wow. This was a good topic, so thank you enough to try for bringing this to our attention. So malignant narcissism blends narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, but the addition of sadism in the dark tetrad makes it even more dangerous. So you guys have asked me, is narcissism dangerous? Absolutely it is. It doesn't matter what scale, the overt, the covert, the somatic, the whatever, the malignant narcissist to the dark triad, dark tetrad, all narcissism is dangerous. That's it. All narcissism is dangerous because of what it does. It sets out to undermine and malign people. Oh, sorry, I got this big bulge right here. It's curl and it's just sticking out. Whatever. It's just bothering me. It's okay. So anyways, here's some real-time examples. You know, cult leaders who manipulate followers. They're stuck in their Machiavellianism, and they demand admiration, which is narcissism, and they show no remorse for harming other people. That's the psychopathy. And they punish dissenters. They punish people who want to go rogue. That is sadism. But it's also Machiavellianism too, because Machiavelli says, you know, it's okay to instill harm. It's okay to use violence to get your way. But no, that's political. So I'm in the wrong, because that's got to be strictly political. Well, you know, when narcissists punish you, they punish you out in the open in front of everybody. They get a kick out of it. Or they punish you behind closed doors. It doesn't matter. They get a kick out of it. It's not just to control you and put you in your place. It's they get something out of it. Narcissists recognize this. Narcissists do not do anything if it doesn't benefit them. They will not do it. Narcissists are always motivated by themselves. They put themselves first. They're always self-motivated, and they won't do anything unless it brings them something. Hi, Resilient Gladiator. Nice to see you. How you doing? So another example of the dark tetrad may be, you know, corporate predators who climb the corporate ladder by deceiving their colleagues, taking credit for success, ignoring consequences, and humiliating their subordinates or people who are lower than them in this position, this hierarchy of corporate gains, whatever you want to call the job detail. If there's people below the narcissist, they'll humiliate them. Why do you think they take credit for things that you did and they didn't? And this has an impact on relationships in society. These traits can lead to toxic relationships. Lead to toxic? No. These traits, when you form a relationship with somebody who has these traits, you will be guaranteed, you will be bullied, you will be abused, you will be exploited, and criminal behavior may even be against you, or you may even be coerced to engage in criminal behavior. The narcissist, the extreme narcissism, the malevolent narcissism. Hi everyone, nice to see you. 2211. My birthday numbers are 1122. And 22 people here and 11 likes. Thank you everyone. Wow, that's a synchronicity. Thank you God. God's in the details. He's in the details of our lives. But I just needed to see those numbers. I just needed to see that. Thank you, God. So, Shannon, your eyes are so striking. They hold me. Oh, Margaret, thank you. Look into my eyes. Sorry. The more, and my daughter says, the more I talk about Jesus, the greener they get. So, I like that. So, that's pretty cool. So, hi, Cody. How are you doing? Cody says, all I was trying to do was be happy and sober, and like my own mother, teamed up with my ex to take me down from being happy. Yep, they do that. They do that. Absolutely. Narcissists look good on the outside, but I believe they suffer a lot silently and engage in addiction, compulsivity. Yes, resilient. Yes. I like that, Des. Don't worry about what other people think. Go on a vacation for a change of scenery. That's a wonderful advice. Yeah. It's like behaviors of monkeys instead of humans. Yeah. Yeah. Your mom did the same and it hurts. Yeah. Being happy and sober in the midst of all of this is a challenge. Absolutely. Yeah. So, looking at sadism, the dark tetrad offers a comprehensive understanding of how deeply harmful personality traits interact and how they can manifest in destructive behavior. Recognizing these traits is essential for protecting yourself from manipulation and abuse. I didn't really look too heavily into sadism until today, so thank you enough to try. Because sadism is no joke. Just like Machiavellianism, it's derived from individuals who have been in the public view. Now, we're going to get into sadism here as it's important, but before I get into that, I'd like to remind everyone that we are here twice a day, 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 10 o'clock in the evening, Eastern Standard Time. This platform, this channel on this platform on YouTube, Positively Spiritual, is a place on the internet where you can find hope and restoration by feeling helped, feeling heard, and you feel nurtured. It's my desire to have you walk away from these videos feeling like you were nurtured and you were given knowledge so that you can go about your day and feel empowered. Instead of feeling maligned and undermined by the narcissist, you can take what you've learned, to take the Jesus feeling that you feel in these videos and on this platform as we come together and Jesus shows up. It's my desire that you guys walk away from this empowered in your divinity. Like, walk in confidence. And you don't need to tell the narcissist what you know, what you've learned. You can just silently point it out. Yep, that's the gaslight. Yep, they're just lied to me. Yep, I see the duping delight on their face. Yep, I'm watching their mannerisms. I see their facial expressions, those micro expressions all over their face. Oh, their body language is telling me everything I need to know. Okay, I need to find an exit. I got to make a phone call. Excuse me. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. You know, like, it's really empowering to have knowledge tucked in under your belt and use it. So please use the knowledge that you gain, if not even from this site, from other sites, from the web and from other YouTube channels. Really take it in, because knowledge is power as you are empowered by using it. So this is your place to find solace, and this YouTube channel would not exist without your support. As your support helps to keep this channel thriving, as this channel is run by only me. I'm the one that does, when we're not doing live, and the other videos on this channel, I've edited them, I've scripted them, I do the research for them. It's all me. And writing for videos and doing videos, if they're not live, these sometimes take days and weeks, to put out. As a writer, you've got to refine and understand your audience, but you also have to understand your research and know your research. But I just want to say that I'm dedicated to this channel, and that's why I'm sharing this stuff with you, because this isn't just I don't want this to be a YouTube channel to just get likes and monetize this channel. We were not monetized, by the way, and we never will be, because YouTube denied us the monetization. So that's fine. That's fine. We're moving up ahead in the world, and they're going to regret their decision. But that's another topic for another day. But I'm sharing this with you guys because I want you guys, it's important for me to have you understand that this is your channel. I'm dedicated to you. I love you, and it's important to me that you go home to heaven, as that's why this information exists. And Jesus shows up in the details of these videos, like the lives and the recorded videos. He shows up giving us insight that we can't find elsewhere. And that's important to me, that you work out your salvation with fear and trembling as you learn to use the narcissist. Use your trauma for something good. Use it. You're allowed to. Don't allow the narcissist to cause you to be disparaging in your life. Don't allow the narcissist to cause you to believe that God is not in the details of your life and that nothing good can happen to you. God is in the details of your life, and we've learned such deeper insight on the cross of Christ. We've learned such deeper insight into our egos. Even today, we're learning deeper insight into the narcissist. So please know that we are all supporting each other, and I'm grateful for this channel. I am grateful for you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to talk with you today. It really is. And it's an honor to talk with you every day. Like, sometimes I just like go to God in prayer, and I'm like, God, I just love talking. I wish I could do this all day long. Like, it's just, but I never get anything done. I never make my bed. I never clean the house. I never do my chores, Somebody's got to clean the toilets, So, yeah. But my point is, I just love sharing, and I love sharing God with you. I love when God shows up. I love feeling, I see God in you guys. Even when God isn't bringing us the detail of knowledge, God shows up through you, and I see God in you. And that's important for me to know. That's important for me, that you know this, that God is in you. You guys are ordained. You are blessed. You guys know this. And I know you feel it. But sometimes we walk away from this video channel, and we walk away inspired, and then all of a sudden comes the narcissist to knock us down. You carry the light inside of you wherever you go, and you can tap into it just by breathing, just by shifting your mindset and turning to the scripture that you have been reading. Have you guys done your homework? Well, I admit I didn't do my homework last night. So I'm going to do it tonight. I promise I will. I started this morning, so I read a little bit in Proverbs today. But I didn't follow through with what I wanted all of us to do, so bad teacher. So I will do it tonight. So, and your homework is to read Proverbs. For those of you who don't know, we did a Bible study yesterday, and so the homework from that was to read all of Proverbs, and there's 30 chapters in the book of Proverbs. So if you can read a chapter a night before you go to bed, you'll have it done in a month. So yeah. So anyways, I also want to just quickly remind you that your support, I thrive, this channel thrives only on your support, as this channel is not monetized. And how can you support this channel? Liking it, subscribing to it, sharing this on your social media. Get this out in the open, because I want to just freaking, hit YouTube in the nusticles. I don't know, nutsticles, whatever you want to call it. I just want to hit hit the narcissist where it hurts, as the powers that be in this channel, this YouTube place, is sidelining us. And they're not telling me, they're telling me that, okay, you can't monetize this channel because it's labeled as hate speech, but they're not telling me what videos are the hate speech. They're not telling me how I can clean up and tidy this channel to make it available for monetization. So, there's silly buggers going on, and we're done. I'm done. I'm not, God is our light. God is our king, and he's my judge, and he's our judge, and he is our father, and my God is bigger than their God, so whatever. But I still need your support, and how you can support is to subscribe to this channel, share it, and talk about it. You know, and even talk to me about it. If there's something that you don't agree with, you don't agree with. That's fine. I'm not here to judge. We're here to support each other. And, you know, even if you're not into downloading anything, I would really appreciate if you just go click on my Ko-Fi channel. That's my YouTube channel. That's my sister YouTube channel. That's where I have the books, ebooks that I have written. If you can just go and check that channel out, just go check out my webpage, just to go and seek out if, you know, maybe I'm not giving them proper titles. Maybe the book, you know, theme isn't appropriate. Maybe the description, I could add more to the description. Like, I really need your expertise and your opinions on the look of this, you know, Ko-Fi site, you know, and maybe you can just take a look around my shop and my membership pages just to say, okay, Shannon, I took a look and I think you need to change this graphic, or you need to add more information because I'm not sure. I need your questions and comments to help. How can I make this better for people? Because these books are full of, you know, biblical content that we don't often see just reading from scripture. It takes a hurting heart to really tap in and tune into scripture, to really dig out the spiritual aspects of what scripture is trying to show us through the lens of healing and hope. So that's what I want. I want this, my Ko-Fi channel, to just get out there and have downloads. Some of these books are for free, so take advantage of that. Go through my books. If you don't read, if you're not a person who likes to read, just don't do it for yourself. Just help me out and read, and catch, you know, the grammatical errors. Maybe there's spelling mistakes. I don't claim that every book that I write is perfect. There are spelling mistakes, and you're going to find them. So point that out for me. Help me out. I appreciate that. And no, these books are not on Amazon. They're not on Amazon whatsoever. They are just a downloadable. You just click a link and they're downloadable from right to your computer. It's a PDF format, so you don't have to download, you know, Kindle or anything like that. It's just a ebook form. So, but anyways, and if you don't want to do that, then may I invite you to please just give a little donation, just to help. That's it. But I'm not, you know, that's up to you. I'll leave that up to you. So I'm done, but I use PayPal, and I know some people don't like PayPal, but PayPal allows me to get the payment immediately. So that's why I like using PayPal, because Stripe and other platforms hold your money for a week or two, and or even a month. So like with Ko-Fi, they hold your money for a month. With other platforms like Patreon, they hold for a week. So with PayPal, it's just, you know, it's just click and done. And I can just put it into my account and do my business and do what I need to do. So thank you very much. Anyways, I'm done talking about that. I want to get on to sadism. Yeah, that sounds a little bit scary, as it is. It's debaucherous. Yeah, sadism is debaucherous. Because the term sadism actually originates from the name of Dantien Alphonse Francois, better known as the Marquis de Sade. Yeah. Do you guys know anything about the Marquis? The Marquis was born in 1740 and he died in 1814. So, yeah. The Marquis de Sade was a French nobleman. He was a writer, he was a philosopher, and his works openly explored themes of sexual cruelty, violence, and the pursuit of pleasure through suffering of others. Can we say Machiavelli? Can we say that right this time? Machiavelli? There we go. See, so psychology wants to compartmentalized, but they all, they segue. They segue into it. Each modality segues into the next. It's like the colors of the rainbow where they blend into each other. This is kind of it. The narcissism and the Machiavellian, the sadism and the psychopathy and the sociopathy and everything, the malignant narcissist, they all blend in together. It's weird. It's really weird. So here's the origins of the term. The term sadism was coined in the late 19th century by psychiatrists to describe deriving pleasure from inflicting pain or humiliation on others, inspired by the explicit content in the Marquis de Sade's writing. Ooh. Psychiatrist Richard von Krafft-Ebing formally introduced the term in his 1886 work, Psychopathia, there we go, psychopathia. I'm not used to speaking Latin. So, Psychopathia Sexualis. This book, he classified sadism as a psychological disorder. So, can we just look at this book for just a sec? We're not going to get into anything graphic, but I clicked on Wikipedia, and I know some people don't like Wikipedia, but it's the closest thing to Encyclopedia Britannica that has, links and stuff. So anyways, this book, Psychopathia Sexualis, a clinical forensic study, also known as, so it was written in 1886, and it's about sexual pathology. The book details a wide range of paraphernalia, sexual paraphernalia, and focuses on male homosexuality and bisexuality. The book coined the terms sadism and masochism, as well as borrowing the term bisexual from botanical language. Really? Didn't know that. Masochism, which Freiherr von Krafft, I'm assuming he's German, focuses on at length is, for example, defined as a particular erotic sensibility in which the individual in his sexual feelings and thoughts dominated by the idea of being absolutely and unconditionally subjected to a person of the other sex. Wow. So, in this book, it is noted for being one of the earliest works on homosexuality, and Krafft-Ebing combined Karl Heinrich Ulrich's yearning theory. Oh, the yearning theory is a link, so I'm going to have to research this more after this video. It is believed that the theory of social degeneration and proposed the theory that most homosexuals have a mental illness caused by degenerate heredity. Okay, so let me say that again. Most homosexuals have a mental illness caused by degenerate heredity. The book had a considerable influence on continental European forensic psychiatry in the first part of the 20th century. It is regarded as an important text in the history of psychopathology. In 2006, an independent film based on the book was made in Atlanta. The film was titled Psychopathia Sexualis, so it's named after the book. So sadism is derived from, it's a sexual psychopathy, and the person takes pleasure in harming others during sex. And masochism is the opposite of that, where the person who is, receiving sex is taking pleasure in being hurt. So this is important to understand, because the Marquis de Sade's influence, his written works, Justine and the 120 Days of Sodom, depicted extreme and often violent sexual scenarios where characters sought power and pleasure through cruelty. We're seeing this now with P. Diddy and his ilk. But the Marquis de Sade's influence, his philosophy, challenged societal norms and moral constraints. He advocated for the pursuit of individual freedoms, even to the extent of harming others. So Machiavelli is the harm to others for political means, torture for political means, and this one, Marquis de Sade, is the sadism is, torture for individual freedom. Wow. There's not much differentiation. Entertainment-based mindset. Yeah, and you'll see that narcissists are, they may not have crossed the line in homosexuality, but they do have thoughts and they take pleasure in hurting you sexually. I know the narcissist I was married to did. I would tell him it hurt, because after I had my first child, I had all my children naturally, but after my first child, I had to have sutures, and there was just some very thin skin, and it freaking lasted. It was during intimacy, it would always cause me pain. So I would tell my ex-husband, it hurts. Please, can you just be a little bit more gentle? Don't do it. No, I can't do that. It hurts. And he's like, oh, you like it. You like it. I didn't know what sadism was. And yet it traumatized me to hear such things from somebody that claims to love you and you love, and they're saying, no, just take it. You like it. You like it. Take it. You like it. Holy frick. So now I have to wonder, of the stories that I do know about this person, I don't even, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. They can keep their sick and twisted freaking mind to themselves. But it's good that we know, because do not dismiss when a narcissist love bombs you and shows you this superficial character and charisma. Always keep in the back of your mind, a narcissist is a narcissist, and a narcissist is a sadist. That's the whole entire reason why a narcissist shows you superficial charm, because eventually they want to bed you down. I'm sorry to say it like that, but that's how they think. It's not having intimate relations with somebody that you love. It's not lovemaking. It's simply a form of dominance. These are not people to like. What is there to like about a narcissist? I'm reading, I've heard about sadism, and I never really gave it much thought, but after today, it's like, oh, hell no. Hey, Aji, how you doing? Do all of them cheat? Eventually. They may not have cheated with you, but they perhaps have cheated with somebody else before you. But, You know, they form emotional bonds with other people, and those emotional bonds eventually cross the line. So if they haven't cheated, there is intent to cheat. That's their intention. And intention is, as in my opinion, my humble opinion, with the intent is what initiates cheating in the first place. So if you have no intent to cheat, then there's no cheating. But if somebody has intentions to cheat, eventually they will. Yeah. You get it now, Shannon. Thank you for speaking on this. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Apologies if it triggered you in any way. No, it didn't. And you know what? Triggering is good. I welcome triggering. I don't think triggering is being bad at all, because I'm self-aware that if I do get triggered, then I can be like, okay, I understand that there's emotion that needs to be dealt with here, so how do I deal with this? I'd rather know than not know, because, you know, when someone says, oh, let's not tell them because they won't be able to handle it. No, I let me decide what I can and cannot handle. And if I can't handle it, okay, but eventually I will. And I look at it, everything happens for a reason, and if something is brought to my attention, it's something that I need to know, and God is hidden in the details. He's the spiritual, overseer and leading things into our forefront of our visible world here. So if I'm able to see it, then God knows that I'm able to deal with it. That's how I look at it. So there's sadism in how sadism falls in psychology, because modern sadism refers to a personality trait or disorder outside of narcissism, where an individual gains satisfaction from inflicting pain, suffering, or humiliation on others. It is distinct from consensual practices from BDSM, bondage and masochism and all of that, where clear boundaries and mutual consent are involved. When you have sadism, there's no consent, there's no mutual involvement. So in extreme forms, it can overlap with the personality disorders. But psychologists say that it's not inherently tied to mental illness unless it leads to harmful behavior. What are we talking? Sadism is defined as being somebody gets satisfaction from inflicting pain, suffering, or humiliation on others. How is that not harmful behavior? No, I'm not triggered. That's just passion coming out. How is that not harmful behavior? So we're seeing, incongruence in psychology in their determination of what sadism is and what it isn't. In extreme forms, it can overlap with personality disorders, but is not inherently tied to mental illness unless it leads to harmful behavior. But isn't sadism harmful behavior? That's what makes that's what makes a sadist. Harmful behavior, humiliation, suffering, pain. I mean, have you ever had a narcissist, see you get twisted in the wind and, they push your buttons and cause you to trigger and you get upset? And then they turn around and they give this little smile and this smirk. That's a hint of sadism right there. And when the narcissist is so bold to say, you're so beautiful when you're angry, and then you get more twisted and it just arouses them more. Yeah, they get aroused. They get aroused, sexually aroused. So when they're gaslighting you and you're getting upset, their yoo-hoo may not stand at attention, but they're definitely aroused. You know, they're taking pleasure. And you don't know what kind of twisted thoughts are going on in their mind. Maybe they see you coming unglued at the gaslight. Maybe in their minds, they're having a fantasy about dominating you in the bedroom. Who knows? I don't want to know. They can keep that frickin' to themselves. But we need to know this, because a narcissist who is a narcissist is a dangerous one. It doesn't matter, weak or strong, overt, covert, malignant, tetrad, triad, it doesn't matter. All narcissists are dangerous. So, sadism and narcissism are considered to be two distinct psychological concepts, but they can overlap in significant ways, particularly how an individual with these traits interact with others. Both involve harmful behaviors, but it seems to psychologists that the motivations and expressions, that's where the differentiation happens. So in motivation, the sadist is motivated and driven to inflict pain, humiliation, or suffering for personal pleasure, whether emotional, psychological, or physical. But with narcissists, they're driven for admiration, validation, and to protect and inflate their fragile sense of self-worth. They get pleasure out of being top dog. They get pleasure in controlling you. Behavioral expression in sadists, they intentionally harm others because they find it enjoyable or empowering. Narcissists harm others more indirectly, often as a byproduct of manipulation, control, or self-preservation, rather than deriving pleasure from the pain itself. No, I beg to differ. I beg to differ on that, because the narcissist, they love to see you twist in the wind, because seeing you weak, seeing you hurt, makes them feel better, makes them feel powerful. Yeah, I agree with that, Des. Ooh, really, VK? I've had men tell me that women secretly want to be raped and dominated. That should have been my red flag right there. But see how it gets twisted, how sex gets twisted, is that's what narcissists watch pornography. And they twist sex. And why they twist sex? Because they cannot feel. See, with lovemaking, there's emotional feelings that are exchanged. But with narcissists, it's purely just physical. And when you watch pornography, it's just physical. And, you know, the narcissist, by watching pornography, they feel like this gives them license, or this gives them the okay to treat women as they do. Pornography basically says to the narcissist their behavior towards women and towards men, because women, you know, can be hurtful during sex too. But watching pornography, just, you know, it helps the narcissist say, okay, well, this behavior is accepted, so I'm okay. Sadists intentionally harm others because they find it enjoyable and empowering. Well, so do narcissists. And with sadism and narcissists, there is no empathy. But no empathy for different reasons. You have no empathy, there's no empathy. See, sadists lack empathy because they enjoy someone's suffering. Narcissists lack empathy because they too are focused on themselves to care about other people's feelings. It's the same thing. If you enjoy somebody's suffering, you have no empathy. And narcissists enjoy seeing other people suffer. See, where sadists take enjoyment in the suffering of other people, so do narcissists. This is all self-motivated. This gaining joy and pleasure is self-motivated. So how can they be different? Like, this psychology is really bugging me. You know, this twisted, it is the same, but it isn't. This is bugging me. This is not making sense to me. It's the same. It's the same. I'm not even gonna, you know, like, I have here a list of how, you know, where sadism and narcissism overlap, and, you know, I don't even know if I can finish reading it. Not that I'm triggered, but it's just, it doesn't make sense, and it's a lie. It feels like a lie to me. A lie to give credit to sadists, that sadists are different than narcissism, and a lie that says narcissists are different than sadists. No, we know from example, we lived through it, that it's not, there's no difference. And it's bugging me. It's bugging me because, you know, psychologists only know what narcissism is based on what we tell them from our experience, and based on what the narcissists themselves speak out about. And narcissists tell lies. And the more heinous the lie, you know, they say things in order to get a rise out of us, or, you know, for their own pleasure. And what benefit is it going to be to the psychologist if the narcissist tells them the entire truth? They just give a little bits and pieces of the truth, but they hold back, because in holding back is a sense of power. You have a chart explaining this. I will try to find it. Oh, thank you, Des. So, all narcs are sadists. Not all sadists are narcs. Yeah. So, I can understand where, you know, sadism is, well, no. I was going to, no. Lack of empathy, it does it right there for me. Lack of empathy. Yeah. And, you know, the thing is, sadists and narcissists both dehumanize others to justify their behavior. So, yeah, no. See, from the Bible, there's only two types of people. Eve's people, Eve's children, and the enemy's children. So a sadist is an enemy's child. A narcissist is an enemy's child. They both lack empathy. And they dehumanize people to justify their behavior. Narcissists may see others as tools for self-validation. Okay, but when you bring sadism into the mix, we know that narcissists exploit others for their pleasure, just as a sadist does. Hey, Kat, how you doing? Yeah, a demon, exactly. Don't let it disturb your spirit. Peace, Shannon. Oh, thank you. No, I'm good. I'm good. It's just this is my passion coming out where, a lie is a lie, and it's obvious to me. And you can't just it just feels like psychology is humanizing a narcissist and trying to make it seem like, oh, well, they're people too, they need love, they need this, they need it's like yeah, okay, in a perfect world, but psychology dismisses the spirituality of it. And when you're looking at this from the lens of spirituality, I can't see this any different. I just can't. My spirit won't allow me to, because we know where narcissism comes from, and I can't deviate away from that. I can't. So it's like standing up for what is right, and knowing what wrong is wrong, right is right, and to excuse the narcissist behavior by saying, well, it's not that bad. Frick yeah, it is. Narcissists don't hurt puppies and kitties. It's not that bad. Yeah, they do. Narcissists don't hurt you for sex to get pleasure out of it. Yeah, they do. Narcissists don't humiliate you for the pleasure of it. Yeah, they do. Like, a lie is a lie. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And, you got to stand up for your, who you are in the spirit. And this is just more worldly gibberish. I'm not trying to dismiss it or disparage it. It's just, I understand that psychology has to compartmentalize things to make them make better sense. I get that. But this doesn't need to be so complicated. And there are real examples of overlap where, a narcissistic boss humiliates employees publicly to assert dominance and enjoy watching their discomfort, yes. And a partner who manipulates and gaslights their significant other, feeling empowered by their confusion and emotional pain. So could sadism be better defined as the same thing, but just using different methods? Humiliation and hurting others, causing physical and emotional pain, but just using different tactics. I don't know, but every narcissist that I've ever seen and had the unfortunate encounter of loving or being in a relationship, a friendship, or otherwise, there has been, sadism in there. You can see it. After you step away from it, you can see it. You can see it. Like, for instance, there was a narcissist that I knew who liked to use alkaline water, and they had an alkaline water system, and he was putting it in jugs, using his system and putting it in jugs and giving these jugs away to family members. Well, he would go and get these drugs from a secondhand store. Not wash them out, not sterilize them, but just get them right from the store, put them from his car right to the kitchen sink and fill them up with his water. Well, he gave this particular jug to his brother-in-law, and the jug was returned. And, I asked, well, why? And he said, because there was porcelain shards in it. And he was making a joke, and he says, my brother-in-law says, what, are you trying to kill me? And I go, oh goodness, that doesn't sound good. And the narcissist said, oh, I told my brother you did it. And I went, well, that's not funny. And he goes, oh, I'm just joking. I go, that's not funny. I could get sued if you told him that. No, I really didn't tell him that. I'm just joking. And I'm like, well, that's a sick, twisted joke. That's sadism right there. You know, I barely knew his brother-in-law, and but that's what he said. He said that to me, and I was just like shocked. I'm like, you don't say stuff like that. Like, that's a sick, twisted joke in itself, to put shards in there. And if it was due to his neglect of not washing the container out and making sure there wasn't anything in there, sure, he walked around and he could hear something rattling in there. Did he put it in there? Did somebody else put it in there? I know I didn't, because I had no contact with this jug. Like, I had no contact with this jug. My fingerprints were not on the jug. So, I had nothing to do with it. And I was just like, wow, if you can say something like that, what else are you saying about me? What would you say about me? Narcissists are not to be trusted. So that's just sinister. They're sinister. And they take pleasure of saying things to you, and they know they've done it. Like, they do things like this to alleviate themselves of the backlash, but they think it's funny blaming you. They think it's funny torturing you like that. They don't think of the ramifications, that this is your reputation on the line, and somebody could possibly, well, Shannon did it, okay, well then I'm going to sue her. She tried to kill me. I could have swallowed those shards of porcelain. Like, why? What was her motive for doing that? Okay, I don't like her. Well, there we go. There's the triangulation. There's the sadistic nature. There's, the gaslighting. There's everything, And I just was so horrified. I was just like, okay, Shannon, this is your cue to spend as little time with this narcissist as possible. Don't know their don't go on family occasions. Don't spend any time with them. Just keep yourself busy. Just go do things by yourself. Leave them a heck alone. So, yeah. So it was. So, narcissists, it says, primarily seek admiration and validation, and they hurt others when their ego feels threatened. Okay, I get that. But they also hurt others just for the hell of it, just because they can get away with it, and they do it just to see if they can get away with it. I mean, they make you the brunt of their jokes. They humiliate you in front of other people. And sadists, they actively seek to cause pain because they find it enjoyable or empowering. Well, isn't being empowered the same thing as, what a narcissist does? They are empowered by seeing you fall, seeing you sweat, seeing you come unglued, seeing you, be blamed for things, seeing you humiliated. I mean, they take pleasure in that, and they enjoy that very much because it empowers them. It makes them feel great. I'm the king of the frickin' castle. So understanding that narcissism, sadism, and Machiavellianism, they overlap, and they're just kind of, in my view, they're just part of the same thing. Evil nature. Evil nature is evil nature. Evil is evil. It's just that evil has varying degrees, just like joy has varying degrees. You have joy and you can have elation. Like there's varying degrees of happiness. But evil is evil. The dark triad and the dark tetrad of narcissism are terms to let you know that narcissism is a dangerous behavioral disorder. In my opinion, from our video we did last week, I believe narcissism is a mutation that cannot change. And as the narcissist ages, the narcissist becomes worse, signifying that the narcissistic personality disorders matures to extreme malevolence as one gets older. So understanding the evil intentions within narcissism will help you to protect yourself by detaching your feelings with the individual in question. so that you can make the choice to live in peace, safety, and emotional harmony while protecting your personal autonomy. And that's what it's about. You're right, Kat, there's no cure for it. Ray Sister says, when you know the narc, they all do exactly the same things over and over. It's an AI program. Well said. Well said. And they can't change. Acknowledge anything they've done exactly enough to try. Yeah, they just... Oh. Yeah, so they just... I don't know. Evil is evil. And I'm going to research more on this Marquis de Sade. I mean, it's even been, I guess, immortalized, memorialized, romanticized in film, in Hollywood, you know, sadism, like with the movies that they show. Like, I remember, you know, I wanted to watch the Marquis de Sade because I didn't know anything about him, and then I started watching the movie and I'm just like, okay, no thank you. No, 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 no. So, you know, I often wonder, what kind of person do you have to be the one in the film to engage and say, yes, I'll be the homosexual and I'll be the one to perform the sadist acts against another one, even though it's just acting, it's not real. Like, you have to get your mind and your heart into that and adopt the mannerisms of somebody like that. That you can't tell me that doesn't change you. You look into the heart of these narcissists on film, you look into their eyes and you can see they're dead. Their eyes are dead. So it's pretty alarming. So anyways, that's all I've got for now on this subject. Thank you enough to try for this. So yeah, what the F is up with that book turned movie where the Machiavellian tetrad harmed a virgin and she married him and changed him? Yeah. Is that what happened, eh? Wow. With all due respect, I think you're wasting your precious time trying to figure these monsters out. I agree. I agree. It is a waste of time. Holly Weird, well said. Yeah. Good info today. Hello, Queens. How you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome. We're here at 10 o'clock tonight, too. So if you guys want, there's important links in the description of this video to support this channel and to support yourselves in your healing transition by looking deeper into scripture. Yes, we do that. We look into scripture. We put scripture, well, we put psychology. We stand psychology up against scripture. And so there's, you know, I think amazing reading because I wrote it and I applied it, and the deep insight from scripture you're not going to find anywhere else. I haven't. Maybe you guys have, but I haven't. And I just love God so much that I just write to share what I find out from my own studies. So if that's what you want, there's deeper studies in the link in the description of this video, and you can support through PayPal donations, as we are here twice a day, and this is all I do. So thank you so much for supporting this channel by liking and staying here with me. Thank you for liking my personality. You know, no, I want to say, who was that who said, you like me, you really, really like me? I'm just so thrilled. Like, you know, from being traumatized, and I know you guys get this, that being traumatized is so isolating. And when you're working out your own pain, you still feel isolated. You feel like, is there anybody that has gone through this? Is there anybody who can relate to me? I just need to find security in finding a like-minded individual, and that's what we have here, and that's what makes me proud, and I'm just so honored. So thank you, and welcome to the family. And it's so, you know, it's such an honor to be a part of God's spiritual divine here on earth. from like this is an answer to prayer. This is, if you still think that God is not with you, just look at all of us. Look at this channel. We're all here coming together, united in one spirit, one heart, one mind. God is with us, and you're here. That means God is with you too. Your family. So welcome and thank you. And yes, Retreat 2025, Positively Spiritual. Yes, we will do this. We will do this definitely. And until then, until we have a retreat, we have to settle with these retreats online. So meet me back here again at 10 o'clock if you can. I'd so love to see you. Until then, enjoy your dinner, enjoy your afternoon, enjoy your evening. I love you. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.